So school has started today. The kids are back at school. Work has started. Last week we tried to get our business up and running. Nothing happened. And today everybody wants everything done. So the new year is hitting us like a pile of bricks. But we'll keep swimming. We'll keep swimming. Lucas went to go take Simon to hospital. The last week Lucas was sick. He didn't want to go to hospital. So Moremi went to go and collect him and took him to hospital. Now Simon has been lying to us. He said he went to hospital for his foot. He never went to hospital. Doctor did himself. Lucas found out, told me over the weekend, and they said, okay, go to Simon, go grab him, take him by his hand, take him to hospital. They are afraid of needles and afraid of going into hospital and not coming out. But a foot infection can be a very bad thing if it goes untreated. So I hope that works out well. Today we only have Emmanuel here, and everything you can almost say seems to struggle. It is now 11 o'clock in the morning. It's scorching hot. We planted cover crops with prickly pears with leucena a couple of days ago, about a week ago I would say, and that's doing okay. So the prickly pears are there, cover crops are there, leucenas are doing well, and we did that all over. So this is one as well, prickly pear, cover crop, leucena is gone. But there's quite a lot of leucena still thriving and still doing well. And this is Damien's forest, mulching, watering at the moment, making things work. Somebody said we should plant garlic around the areas where the termites are. I think that can be quite a good idea. But those cover crops that I showed you now, that's the reason why we can't have chickens in here yet. Because the small things does not like surviving with termites, with chickens. You know, those cover crops will be scratched out the very first day, very first chance the chickens get. If you don't know, I'm a real estate agent, and this is one of the houses that I just sold. We sold it for $10,000, 10,000 US dollars. Basically it's 3 bedrooms inside. It's dilapidated like crazy. They'll probably have to tear it down and start all over again. Theft, extremely theft and neglect and everything. I'm not going to show you the whole house, but you get the idea. What I wanted to show you is why I'm so positive about township food forest. We have, because there's walls and houses, the temperature doesn't get so cold. So look at this papaya, for instance. Incredible. Look at this. I want to show you moringa. So this is 3 lemon trees, growing very well. Look at those, how much it's carrying up there. I don't know if you can see into the sun. There you go, there's some fruits there, and apparently they were not watered. And then look at this giant moringa tree. The cold only got the top, where on the farm and everywhere else the cold would knock it all the way down. So when you work in a smaller scale, in a small yard like this, first of all, everything is zone 1. Zone 0.1, I almost want to say it's the closest that you can get to a house. There's most of the time one of the people are not working, so they're able to take care of the garden all day. And then you've got the temperature control of the buildings. The buildings breaks the wind and it breaks the cold, so that helps quite a lot. We can have thousands and thousands of little microclimates in this area, micro food forests in this area, and make it work. People say they see too little of the ducks, and so here they are. The ducks went broody for a long time. All of them had a bit of eggs, and they were lying on top of those eggs. Now we timed it very conservatively and realized all of the eggs were rotten. So either we didn't have a rooster or something else went wrong. But yeah, the ducks, we didn't get the ducks to multiply. However, it would really be nice. We got them to do termite control, so now they're back on the job again. We took the eggs out and they can get back to work. I'm back in Damien's forest again. I want to show you something cool. So maybe first I should probably get up. This is a I don't know what you want to call these things. So like a fertility pit. There's a bund around it that captures water. Inside there's worm compost. In some of them there's charcoal. I can't for the life of me remember whether we put charcoal in this one or not. Mixture of worm compost. Now if you take that versus that, you can see that's obviously got a lot more life to it. Now this just proves how important soil quality is. We did plant very similar things on the land over there, for instance, and it just simply didn't pitch up. We planted these things here, haven't watered them for a long time, then we water them, then we don't water them again, and they thrive. You see the cowpeas are starting to put up peas. Yeah, right next to it, this is also very cool. This is leucena. Now there's a couple of species that I believe will end up being very important to our food forest. The first one is leucena. Leucena, I believe, will play an integral role in making this place a success. The reasons is it grows. If you can get it established, it grows like crazy. Getting it like 40 centimeters high, that is the trick. As soon as it's 40 centimeters high, it's almost impossible to kill. So that's nice. The other reason is it's extremely good for cattle, sheep and chickens. Everything can basically eat it. I think this bloody leaf keeps on tickling me in the ear. Anyway, so I lost my train of thought, but very good, very drought tolerant. You can, if you have a drought, a serious drought, you can cut them off in the middle of the winter and they will sprout green almost immediately. Evergreen, so in the winter they will have leaves that you can feed to your animals. They're tolerant to very moist climates, tolerant to cold, tolerant to hot, so that's a very good plant. And the next one is the prickly pear. Now look at this. This thing was pushed into the soil about a week ago. Check the new life there. Now this is a thornless variety. Both the thornless variety and the variety with thorns will have integral parts to play. Thorns, the ones with the thorns we'll use as fences, we'll use as mulch. Chopped up we'll use as animal food, we'll use as things to put in holes when we plant trees, like a bottom layer in the hole before we plant a tree. Fertility. We'll scorch the thorns off and feed it to cattle. The ones with the thorns, without the thorns, is just great. We'll feed that to everything, and we'll eat some of the prickly pears as well. It's a very good dish. So those are the first 3 trees that I believe will become integral. The fourth one is the marula. The marula, this one survived the cold no problem. It all of a sudden sprouted, reached a growth phase, and it started to grow like crazy. Now they will most likely become the overstory of the food forest. They grow 8 meters high. I'm sure you can find something like that on the interweb. Sorry, I get out of the wind quickly. I didn't bring my mic. For those that don't know, we've got a little termite oven here where we build pizzas. Anyway, marula, I think that will become a very integral part as well. And then citrus. Now citrus, all sorts, lemons, oranges, anything of the citrus family, I think that will become a very integral part as well. And then date palms. Date palms are almost impossible to find. I went to the nursery the other day. They said they've only seen them twice in their lives. Now the south is rotten with date palms, the north is rotten with date palms, so I don't think it's going to be impossible, but the people here, for some or other reason, they don't plant as many of them as we want. Yeah, then there's many other things that I think you know, that will play big parts. I think most grass species, native grasses, will become very important, just for the chop and drop and the mulch, and there's so many things that native grasses do, but we'll just give those ones the benefit of producing and not killing them and not overgrazing them, and they will become plentiful all by themselves. We don't have to propagate them. The other thing that I'm very excited about is this cover crop mix that we've started making. I wonder what it will look like. We plant that to next to every tree. Everything that we do, we throw a couple of seeds in. It's basically grass species, different grass species, bird seeds, different bird seeds. So all of them will look like grass, except for the sunflowers. So we have plenty of sunflowers in there as well. And then the cowpeas, which is a ground cover. Oh, the last thing that I think will become integral, and I ordered some, is sweet potato. I think sweet potato will do fantastic in our climate. I did order some from Utavi. It's a town about 80 kilometers away from us. They did promise that before the end of the month they will deliver them to me, and I am very excited. However, it was a difficult day. I ran around like a man without a head, trying to get everything done, trying to respond to everybody's request. We've got very exciting things happening in the property part of the business. Trying to sell agricultural land, which is fantastic. I had one person that I showed agricultural land, so it's small plots, 3 hectares, going for 500,000 Namibian dollars, agricultural land. And I brought him here. I showed him the land first, and I said, but let me go show you what you can do. And he walked around and he was so impressed. And he said, this is exactly, this walls, these African smiles, this is exactly what I want. I think he's a Herero person, judging by the little hat. The Herero people walk around, the older men, with a little hat and a cane. It's a very traditional thing. So he was walking around like that. But it's nice to see a Herero person. They are very good farmers, don't get me wrong, but it's nice to see them being interested in permaculture. So selling those agricultural land this year, I think is going to be great, because it's something that I'm passionate about. And then we have a town development that's small, urban, and so I will try and get water tanks under as many of those houses as I can during the construction phase.